Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So, here's an interesting news for you. From today, I'll be picking up each and every library from Python, and I'll be explaining you with the help of an example how each and every library works and when to use which library in your project. Okay, with the help of a coding and also with the output how it looks like. Okay, so starting with of today, I'm starting with the first library, which is a basic one, that is how you can create graphs, or let's say a sine wave, or a cos wave, or a cosec wave, or some kind of graphical representation you wanted in your website. How you can do it with the help of a Python library which is called as matplotlib. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, what you have to do whenever you want to use any kind of library in Python, you have to write pip install and then in the terminal. So suppose we are using matplotlib, so we'll write pip install matplotlib in the terminal so that this particular module gets installed. Okay, so once this particular module gets installed, then only you will be able to work with it. Okay, so I've already installed in from my terminal, so you can do the same. After we install it, what we have to do is we have to import that particular module. So I'll write import matplotlib. Okay, and I'll write the features. I also take the features of it, that is pyplot as empty. Okay, now what does this actually do? This will actually help me to plot my graph which I want. That means I want to plot a sine wave. Okay, so how does a sine wave actually look like? So it will have an x-axis, a y-axis, and the sine wave will look something like this. Okay, so suppose this is y-axis, this is x-axis. So I need to generate whole this thing out with the help of the Python library. Okay, so here import matplotlib.pyplot means I'm actually telling the Python that I am using the module matplotlib to create a plot which is a sine wave actually. And here pyplot as plt means plt is the function which will help me to generate the plot. Okay, so whatever functionality you are giving to the plot, you have to use plt as a function over there. Suppose I want to create an x-axis, so I'll write plt dot x-axis, plt dot y-axis. So plt is my function. That is why import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. Okay, next what we need to do, we have to go ahead and import numpy, or numpy you can call it. Why you want to import this? Because whenever you are creating a graph, you want some values inside your graph, right? So numpy is used for generating the numerical data for your graph. Any kind of graph you want to create, you have to use the module numpy to give the numeric data to your graphical representation. Okay, now we have imported two modules over here. Fine. Now next what we have to do, since we are trying to generate a sine wave, okay, like a plot which has a sine wave in it. So it has two axes, that is x-axis and y-axis, right? So first of all, we'll take the x-axis, and with the help of np, okay, n is np for the feature, or you can call it as a function of numpy, which will help you to generate the numeric data for your plot. Okay, so I'll write x equal to mp dot line space, and let me give the value as 0, 10 and 100. Okay, now why I have written this particular line of code? So what it will actually do, so it will actually create, when you write line space in Python, it creates an array, okay, which will start from the number 0, fine, and it will end till 10, and it will have 100 of pointers in between. That means for your graphical representation, if you have an x-axis and a y-axis over here, So here when you write np.linespace 0, 10, 100, that means it starts from 0, it ends till 10, okay, and you have hundreds of, spacings in between it, or hundreds of divisions between 0 to 10. Okay, it will go till 100. So that is represented by np, which is the function from numpy module, which will help you to generate the numeric data for it. And it starts from 0, that means whatever value you want to give the x-axis, it goes till 10, that means this is the range you are giving to the this particular, like 0 to 10, and whatever values, like how many in middle, how many generations or how many number of points you want to give. So I've just given 100, a random value. You can do it according to your project. Okay, so basically overall idea is np.linespace means it creates an array, okay, which has 100 values in it. So there is an array which will be created and it will be stored in the variable x, which has 100 values in it, and the line space between them will be starting from 0 to 10. Okay, so 100 is the line space, fine, and 0 and 10 are my ranges for the x-axis. So 0 is the start and 10 is the end. Okay, that's the whole idea behind writing this particular code. Now done with x-axis. Now we move on to y-axis. Okay, so y-axis, we will, since we are creating a sine wave, so I'll write y np. Okay, the function np I have used from numpy module, and then sine. So what it will do, it will actually calculate the sine wave. When you use the function sine over here, it will actually calculate the sine wave for you, and it will store it in this particular variable, which is y. Okay, so whatever values you are giving in the x-axis, that means the array which is getting created, just pass on this particular variable over here. That means x is being passed on to here. So sine of x, and then whatever values are there which will be generated in the back end, it will be stored in the variable y. Fine. Now next, let's do some labeling for our sine wave. Okay, so our plotting. So for that, since I said whenever you want to work with your plot, you have to use this particular function, that is plt. Fine, so suppose I want to give a name to my x-axis, so I can write plt dot plot, and I can write x comma y. Okay, then I can also write plt dot plot, I can write x axis as the name of x axis, and plt dot plot, I can write y axis. So that means my x will be denoted as x axis, y will be denoted as y axis. So with the help of these two commands, what exactly we will be able to see in the output. So here this is x, this is y, okay, and here the labeling will be written like this is x axis and y will be written as y axis. Okay, so here it will be written as x axis, this would be written as y axis. Fine. Next, what we need to do, next let's say I also want to give some title. So I'll give some title to my graph. So let's say plt dot title, and let's say I give the title as sine wave. Okay, fine. Now one thing you need to change, since you are giving the label to your axis, so you have to write over your x label. Okay, this is for x and this is for y, which I missed out. Okay, now next, these are done, the functionalities of the, whatever you want in your plot to show, like labeling, what the title of my plot should be, everything is done. Okay, so basically x and y over here, with the help of line space and sine function, you are creating your graph, you are creating your plot, that is the sine wave, and with the help of plt function, you are giving the add-on features to your graph, that is your labeling of the graph or title. If you want to give some color, you can use the same PLT function and give the color as well over there. Okay, now you want to see the image, right? So for that you have to just write plt dot show. Okay, with the help of this function you will be able to see the image. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to save it. That's it. And then let's open our command prompt. So this is the command prompt, and let me move on quickly to the directory wherein my folder is saved. And over here I'll just write, so let me maximize it. So over here I'll just write the file name. So its file name is im, so python im.py. Now when I press enter, now see the sine wave got generated in front of you. Okay, as soon as I press enter. So that's what I was talking about. So see, this is the x-axis wherein the labeling is done x-axis. Okay, this is the y-axis wherein the labeling is done y-axis, which we gave it, and this is the title, that is sine wave. And you see it starts from 0, which we have given in the line space. If you see this one, we go to the coding. Okay, so line space, it starts from 0, it goes till 10, and the spaces between them, or the pointers should be like 100 pointers should be them, like number of points should be 100. Okay, and this will help you to generate the sine wave. Okay, so automatically the value is given from the backend. Fine. So here if you see the graph again, so it starts from 0, it takes the value from 1. Fine. And here the end will be 10, and it has spacings wherein 100 spacings will be there, like these are the spacings. Okay, and if you see the value of the sine wave, it is automatically generated when you use the function which is sine. Okay, this particular function which is sine. Fine. So x equal to 2.91, so it starts from here, and then y is equal to 0.352, and then the sine wave is created. Okay, so this is how you can create any graph with the help of the module which is matplotlib inside Python. And you can also, now if you want to save this particular graph, so what you can do, you can just if you click on this particular icon, it will save your figure. Okay, if you click on this, you can save it anywhere in your desktop if you're using a laptop. Okay, if you want to zoom in, so you can click on this and you can zoom in. Okay, let me expand it. So if you click on this, it will zoom in. Fine. If you want to configure it to some some anywhere else, like in your blogs or in your website, you can also do it. Okay, and this is for zooming in left or right, you can zoom it off. Okay, so this is how your sine wave will look like when you are using a matplot library inside Python.